So, thank you for tuning in to episode 9 of A Voice from the Ever Change. This is a meditation program. I'll be soon offering a guided meditation. Today's guided meditation will be a bit different than what you're used to if you've been tuning in. Today we'll start with the sounds, and we'll come back from the sounds into the body and in the breath. So pretty much the reverse order. This can be quite effective for people who are holding a lot of trauma or a lot of tension in the body. The body can sometimes become quite inaccessible when we do that. So when we start with the sounds and we come in to the body and breath, it makes the meditation a little more gentle and a little easier to access for some people. It's just another way of entering into the present moment. So I'll ring the bell, and I'll ring the bell 3 times, and each time we'll rest the thinking mind on the sound of the bell, and we'll follow the sound of the bell into silence. We'll rest there in silence for a moment or two, and then I'll do that again, and then again after that, so 3 times, and then we'll come into the body, and then we'll rest with the body and sound, and then with the breath as well. We'll stay there for just a few moments, and then I'll offer a poem from my latest book entitled A Voice from the Ever Change, and then offer a commentary also from the same book. And you can allow the words of the poem and the commentary to just guide your awareness wherever it may want to go. The idea there is actually the poem, the commentary, is acting as a guided meditation. So just allowing that to bring you deeper into the meditation practice. After that, I'll ring the bell, and then I'll do a little talking. Not sure what I'm going to talk about yet, but we'll figure it out when we get there. Okay. So it's meditation time. So allowing the body, mind, and heart to rest into the present moment experience. And if you become distracted by thought at any time during the meditation, you can simply label those thoughts thinking, which will allow the thoughts to go, and gently return back to the present moment experience each time. And so I'll ring the bell. Rest your thinking mind on the sound of the bell, and allow the bell to guide your mind into silence. Resting in that silent space, you might notice how sounds then seem to arise out of that silence and return back to that still silence. Now ring the sound of the bell. Rest your mind on the sound of the bell. allow the decay of the bell to bring your mind into silence. And as you rest in that silent space, you might also notice how sensations of the body seem to arise and pass through that silent space. And I'll ring the sound of the bell one more time. Rest your mind on the sound of the bell. Allow the decay of the bell to bring your awareness into silence. And as you rest in this silent space, noticing how that stillness, that silence, acts as sort of a backdrop for which the universe orchestrates the soundtrack of the present moment. Without focusing on any sound in particular, you might notice how each sound finds its perfect place in the rhythm of the present moment. And while resting with the sound and silence, allowing awareness to expand to include sensations of clothing against the shoulders, noticing the arms resting against the body, the hands resting against the body or touching each other. You might also notice sensations of clothing against the back, the weight of the body against the chair, cushion, mat, or floor. There might be sensations of clothing against the legs, the feet against the mat or the floor. And while resting in awareness of the sounds and silence and those sensations of the body, bringing attention to the top of the head, noticing any sensation arising from the crown of the head. Sensations arising from the back of the head. Allowing awareness to move through the back of the neck, noticing any sensations arising there. There might be sensations arising in the ears. Allowing awareness to expand again through the cheeks of the face, noticing sensations arising from the chin, the lips, the nose and the eyes. Sensations arising from the forehead, and allowing awareness to expand back into the top of the head. And while resting there, resting in the sound and the silence, resting in the sensations of the body, bringing attention to the breath as it enters and leaves the nose. You might notice the breath touching the back of the throat, perhaps noticing the rib cage expanding and contracting with each breath, the rising and falling of the abdomen as you inhale and exhale. And perhaps also noticing the back moving out as you breathe in and in as you breathe out. The shoulders rising and falling with each breath. And so we'll rest right there just for a few moments, resting with the sound and silence, the sensations of body and breath. Just resting in this present moment, breathing in and breathing out. And while resting with the silence and sound, sensations of the body and breath, I'll offer this poem. Allow the words to the poem to guide your awareness wherever your awareness may want to go. The wisdom of the birdsong, the wind against your skin, the color of the sky, the mosquito in your ear, the ache in your heart. Rest in this present moment experience, in what is happening right now. Not pushing against nor clinging to. Allow this present moment and welcome in the teacher. The commentary. What is happening right now? This is the question. Listen, feel, look, listen, feel. That is all. Do you hear that bird song? Just hear it. Don't analyze it, categorize it, or favor it in any way. Just hear the bird song. Now, as you listen, can you find where the bird song ends and the listener to that song begins? Is there a place in you, in the sky between you and the bird, or in the bird itself, in which the listener and you and the bird song meet? Feel the cool breeze brush lightly against your skin. Do not analyze the breeze, categorize it, judge it, or name it in any way. Simply feel the breeze. Now tell me, can you feel where the breeze stopped and the feeling started? Is it on the surface of the skin? Is it in the wind somehow? Where exactly did the breeze morph into feeling? Look into the vast sky. Do not name the sky or label in any of the objects floating through the sky. Just look. Now tell me, can you see where the scenery stops and the seer begins? Where is the line which divides the seen and the seer? Is it in the eyes? Perhaps it's in the brain. Is it in the sky or in the air? Every experience can be used in this same way. A sunset, a flower, a mosquito buzzing in your ear, a headache, a heartache, homework, washing dishes, making coffee, waiting for an elevator, making love, writing poetry, lifting weights, or mowing the lawn. Every experience can be an unlocked doorway into the divine. How? In each experience, look for the one who is having that experience. Look closely. Where does the experience end and the experiencer begin? If you persist in this type of inquiry, you inevitably discover that there is in fact no separation. That the experience and the experiencer turn out to be the very same being in different disguises. How could it be otherwise? How could there ever be a feeler without an experience to be felt? How could there ever be a feeling without a feeler? A seer without objects seen? A knower without the known? It is not possible. Which is another way of saying they are really two aspects of one single event. yet we miss it each time. The illusion of experiencing ourselves as a separate, independent, isolated self in this bag of skin, experiencing separated, independent objects out there in an objectified world, seems to be hardwired directly into the very consciousness of humanity. It gives us a wonderful, false sense of autonomous security, an illusion bought at the exorbitant price of duality, which casts us into a world replete with struggle and suffering. But all we need to really do is to look. Look, look, and look again. Feel, feel, and feel again. Each sensation may serve as a reminder to come back to the unified whole of life itself. Return to just this whole present moment. Ask right now, who is feeling this? Who is looking? Who is hearing these words right now? Is there a hearer who hears words? Or is it just one experience of hearing? Where do the words meet the hearer? Is it in the ears? Is it in the voice spoken? Is it in the speaker who is speaking? Is it in the space in between those? Or is it simply the one experience of words being heard? Does a river flow the flowing flow? Or is it just one river flowing? Do not think too much about this, as there is nothing to understand here, and more analyzation and contemplation often just leaves one with a philosophy to believe in at best, or spinning around in thought at worst. This is not a belief system. There is nothing to calculate here, nothing to contemplate, study, or figure out. Simply allow yourself to rest and look. Pay full attention to each of the senses, and you will surely see yourself staring back at you through the eyes of each stranger, feeling yourself in each moment of laughter and heartbreak, hearing yourself in every birdsong. You will finally find yourself in each sunset. And you are always right here all along. You are always, always just right here. Thank you all for tuning in to episode 9 of A Voice from the Ever Change. I never really plan what I'm going to talk about at the end here. I just kind of improvise. And so I think I just want to talk about the title of this series and the title of the book, A Voice from the Ever Change. And by the way, if you'd like a PDF copy of the book, do message me your email address. I'm happy to send a PDF if you want to read along with the videos or just like to read what I've written. Happy to send those out for free, no problem. A Voice from the Ever Change. It's interesting because the title of this book came to me before any of this, the pandemic outbreak. And what this title points to, and what the book is really getting at, is how everything is impermanent. Everything is in a constant state of change. And when I was doing my Tibetan meditation training, we were taught to meditate on impermanence. It's a beautiful practice, actually, where we start by contemplating how everything is changing from as far away as we can imagine. We start with the furthest planets, way out in the outer edges of the universes and galaxies, contemplating change. And I don't know about you all, but I like to watch the news sometimes, not these days, but I used to. And I was reading all kinds of things that were happening in the stars and the galaxies. They were finding all of these exoplanets and moons that have water and so forth. Photographing black holes, a lot of change happening all the way out as far as the imagination can go. So in our training, we would meditate on that type of change. And then we would bring our awareness closer to our own planet, planet Earth, or if you're from California, Mother Gaia. Hi, California. And so we would contemplate all of the changes happening on beautiful Mother Gaia. You know, volcanoes erupting and the earthquakes and the weather patterns that are changing so dramatically. It's not hard to find something to contemplate on that level, right? Then we would come closer still, contemplating changes that are happening in our own country, either the country we reside in or the country we were born in, doesn't matter. Contemplating all of the changes from that country's inception to present. Now, could it be legal changes or social changes would have happened, perhaps changes in fashion and so forth, human rights changes, and so forth. So contemplating, maybe even the languages changes, the borders have changed in that country. So contemplating change on that level. Coming closer still, contemplating change in our own neighborhood. Maybe we have new neighbors that have moved in or old neighbors have moved out. Maybe a tree fell from a recent storm, or there might be a fresh snowfall. Nowadays, if you're in a country that has spring, you might notice cherry blossoms coming or new flowers coming to bloom. So contemplating change on that level. Then we would come closer still to our own household. Contemplating changes there. Maybe we have a sibling who went off to college, or somebody got married recently, or perhaps somebody passed away. Contemplating changes on that level in our own household. Maybe we got a new dog or a cat. I'm getting a kitten this week, so I'm very excited. Change on that level. Then we come closer still, contemplating change in our own physical body. We get a good feel for what our body looks like and feels like right now. And then we compare that to what it looked like and felt like 5 years ago. And then 10 years ago. And then 15 years ago. And so forth. And I don't know about you all, but that's a lot of change there happening. From my body now to 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, and so forth. Then we come even closer than the physical body. We come to our own mental structure, contemplating all of the changes that happen in our mind. Again, going back in 5-year increments. So we start with present moment, getting a good feel for our current value system, our current belief system, what we hold to be true. And then we go back 5 years ago and compare it. And then 10 years ago, noticing all of the change that happens in our own value structure, our own truths, our own opinions of what is beautiful. Going back all the way to when we were 5 years old. And, well, for sure you'll find that what you felt to be true as a 5-year-old is quite a bit different than what you feel to be true now. Well, hopefully anyway. And now, in my own training, we did this for anywhere from 3 to 6 months. I don't remember how long I spent on this practice in particular. I think it was about 4 or 5 months. In any case, we move on from that practice when it comes home in the heart, that everything is in constant change. Nothing is staying the same. That we live in a world of flux. And the human being suffers because we imagine we can grasp at that world of change and fix it into something stable, into something that doesn't change. It's quite ironic, right? Because the being that's in a constant state of change is grasping at the world that is in a constant state of change also, hoping to find something permanent. Permanency doesn't exist. It only exists in the imagination of the human mind. And so when we really can rest in the ever change, we can free ourselves from that constant struggle, that constant chasing towards the next thing that might last forever. It's not the nature that we live in. The nature that we live in is impermanent. The nature of the body that we inhabit is impermanent. The nature of the mind that we're born with is impermanent nature. And so resting in that, we find release. We surrender to this impermanency. And in that surrender, well, you'll have to discover it for yourself. Thank you all again. I hopefully see you tomorrow. I will be here anyway, unless impermanency catches up with me. But I'm counting on being here tomorrow at 7 p.m. Thai time with another episode of A Voice from the Ever Change. If there are any questions or comments, send those along to Messenger. I'll be doing a Q&A on Sunday evening at the same time. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Please, 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 social distancing, wash your hands, be safe, be healthy, take care of yourself, and take care of your loved ones. We'll all look out for each other. And this this outbreak is also impermanent, and this too will pass. Thank you.